Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Was Tszyu'S going to duck Terence Crawford? That's what some fans are saying. I don't necessarily see Tszyu'S as the kind of guy to duck anyone. I think, if anything, Tszyu'S is going to do what's best for him, what's best for his career. But let me show you something right here. Right here, there was a little to-do when it comes to Tszyu'S and Terence Crawford that had bubbled up in the comment section, where one subscriber says, what happened to Tim was a blessing for Crawford because they were going to duck Crawford. I am glad now Tim is forced into the meat grinder. So he's saying Tim is being forced to fight Crawford because Tim was going to run and hide. And then the next person says, LOL, since when has Tszyu'S ducked anyone? Tim takes the Crawford fight, and you saying that Tim wants to duck him. That makes no sense, you. And you saw what he said. If I'm not mistaken, homie, it's your crew that have been ducking him. True that if the Spence fight was more money and easier to make, maybe that happened first. But if you think Tszyu'S was ducking Crawford, he said, you'd be wrong. Tim beats Crawford and makes it look easy. Wow. Sorry, Chief. Crawford needs to focus on fishing or some ish. Then he responds and says, was you listening before the Fundura fight? Geesh. Sam was like, they're going to fight Spence and make Crawford wait 2 fights. That's ducking. That's why Karma got his A-word, forced Tszyu'S into the meat grinder. He has to fight Crawford now. Like, I am speaking from facts, not feelings like you. So was Tszyu'S about to put duck sauce on the fried rice? Now, what I think is, if he chooses not to fight Crawford, let's say it would have played out like this. Tszyu'S had an opportunity to fight Crawford or fight Spence. And he chose to fight Spence. Would that be a duck? I think it's just, if a person feels like, well, he chose not to fight him, so he ducked him. Right? So essentially then, it's a duck, right? But if he's choosing not to fight, let's just say this is what was going on. If we would have chose not to fight Crawford, and Crawford was going to say, end up earning Tszyu'S a payday of, let's say, $15 million, and he chose to go fight Earl Spence, and let's just say, we're just talking hypothetically, right? We're just having a conversation. And let's say you go fight Spence for $5 million. You chose not to fight Crawford for 15, but go fight Spence for 5. And again, I'm just talking hypothetically. This isn't what happened. But in that instance, I would say, definitely some duck sauce on the fried rice. But when you look at a fighter going after someone where he can make more money, I'm not so sure I would say that's a duck. But if he chose not to fight somebody, I could see how someone could say, well, he ducked him. But I just think that's smart business, But I could see it from both sides. But one thing about Tszyu'S, what I will say is, Tszyu'S been out here trying to get at, forget Terence Crawford, forget Earl Spence. The real big dog at 154 is Charlo. Tszyu'S been trying to get at Charlo. Jamel hasn't been in a rush to get over there and mess with that Australian. He's done everything he can. You can understand. So did Charlo duck Tszyu'S when he had the opportunity to go fight Canelo? Word is Charlo made like $20 million. I know people are like, nah, it's guaranteed. Forget what y'all be hearing. That's the other thing, man. Forget this bullshit y'all hear out here in the media, man. You know these guys, they're gonna give you sometimes it's like if you have a bloodhound on you, you want to throw them off. right? You want to make sure you get them off your path. You're going to do what you have to get people off your path, man. They're going to throw stuff at you, man, to get you off course, to get you going down a rabbit hole. I truly believe there were conversations about Tim Tszyu and Terence Crawford fighting. And when they came out talking about Tim Tszyu we're gonna keep him out the ring to the end of the year, that struck me as odd. I even said that in the video. I'm like, okay, Tim's Fundora, you can kind of understand he has a broken nose and everything. He probably needs to be out for a while. You know, there's a lot of little small bones and the cartilage in his nose. Maybe he needs more time. But Tim Tszyu, I'm like, shit, it was a pretty bad gash on his head. He had a hole in his head and his brains were falling out. But I would think Tim Tszyu would have been able to return to the ring pretty quick. So when they were talking about to the end of the year, I was like, that shit didn't make sense. But now you hear about him and Crawford about to fight. It's like, okay, well, they just threw that out there to just create a little confusion, when all along they knew that, hey, Tim Tszyu, he put up a valiant effort, and the WBO truly feels like he should have never lost that fight. And this is kind of what happened. It's like you look at Lomachenko. People don't. I talked about this before. People don't understand. Let me show you. Let me show you what happens when the secret society puts their mind to something. Let me show you something. Okay, yeah. Where is it? Something happened here. But you remember when Lomachenko, when he fought Devin Haney? But anyway, Lomachenko fought Devin Haney, right? A lot of people felt he won that fight. And look at the position he still holds when it comes to the ring rack and stack. He still holds the number one position. Now, when you come down here and look, because Lomachenko, you look in the WBO, he's not there. Lomachenko is not there in the WBA. Okay? But he's there in the IBF. But you remember before this, he was like ranked number 1 or 2 in all the sanctioning bodies. And it's like, how the hell did he hold on to that position? Because they felt that a lot of them felt that he beat Haney. So they didn't demote him. They actually held his position or moved him up higher. But you look over here for the IBF, Lomachenko's ranked number 3, Kambosos ranked number 1. So he dropped out of these other sanctioning bodies because obviously he's fighting for the IBF belt against Kambosos, which I think he wins. But once Lomachenko gets that belt, Lomachenko is going to probably want to try to unify. Now, will he get the opportunity? I don't know. But what I'm doing is I'm pointing this out to you to let you know that Lomachenko lost to Devin Haney, but he's right back in another big fight. So as long as you put up the type of effort to make these sanctioning bodies and members of the secret society feel that, you know what, you deserve another opportunity, they're not going to sit there and demote you like that. They're going to find a way to get you right back in the mix. And I think that's exactly what happened with Tim Tszyu and Crawford. But anyway, I don't think Tim Tszyu is putting duck sauce on any fried rice. I think Tim Tszyu is all about a challenge. And I truly think Tim Tszyu probably has some of that stress off of him where he's no longer undefeated. And although I'm not saying he's okay with it, but he's like, well, I didn't die. It wasn't really what I wanted, but I'm still here. And if anything, he comes back even stronger, even more aggressive, even more intelligent, with even more of a passion and drive to do something huge at the 154-pound division. Now, does he beat Terence Crawford? I mean, I don't know. But I think it's a good scrap because he's going to fight. And Crawford's not going to hit him with no elbow on the top of the head and all that. There's not going to be the height difference. But Crawford has a freakishly long reach. So we're going to see what Tim Tszyu can do to get to Crawford. My biggest concern, and I'm going to say this here, I should do another video. Tim Tszyu's go-to is the big right hand. Crawford likes to turn into southpaw man. And he fights very well from that. But the big right hand is the dynamite to Southpaw. I mean, not the dynamite, the kryptonite to Southpaw man. And that is what I'm going to be paying attention to, because Tim Tszyu is very explosive. He closes the gap, and when he lets that bazooka-like right hand go, that shit detonates on you. It's more times than not, it's lights out. Can he get there with the big right hand on Crawford? But I'm going to save that for the next video. Y'all keep cool. Tim Tszyu, was he going to duck Crawford? He probably going to pass up on him and go another route. But you can't really blame any fighter for trying to be strategic and go the route to pick up the belts and then go into the more challenging fight. It's kind of like what Earl Spence was saying. He's going to go out there and fight the fighters that are a little bit easier than Terence Crawford and try to pick up those straps. And then once he gets all the straps, hook up with Terence Crawford. Is that ducking? I guess some people would say it is. To me, I just think he's being smart. But anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.